Indi Clarke.
Thank you. I too want to acknowledge the sacred and sovereign nations on whose land we stand today, the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung mob of the Kulin Nation, and extend that acknowledgement to all the nations of the state now called Victoria. I want to acknowledge your elders, your ancestors, and the knowledge holders that have carried our stories, our songlines, and our traditions for 60,000 plus years. I think when we think about that 60,000 plus years our people have walked on this land, have carried traditions, and thought about the generations that come after us. And that's where we are here today. I want to acknowledge the inaugural assembly and thank you for the work that you've done to lead us to where we are today. I want to acknowledge all the inaugural and second chamber meeting and assembly members as well, and are committed to the journey with you. As stated, my name is Indi Clarke, and I'm a proud Wamba Wamba, Muddy Muddy, Bunurong, Trawlaway, Lardle man through my father and mother's side. Today we exist and speak as representatives and a function for our mob to progress the important matter of treaty for our communities. As we know, this notion of treaty isn't something new. This is something our people have long been calling for. What it is, I believe, is a mechanism that will continue to build on the legacies of our old people and create avenues and opportunities to build enablers and pathways for our mob, among other things. As what I would like to consider still somewhat of a young man, even though I've got the grey hairs coming nowadays, I'm very much aware that I stand on the shoulders of giants, and because of the incredible people that have come before me, I can be here today and share my voice. There's a few people I want to acknowledge because I wouldn't be who I am today without my mob, and I want to acknowledge both my Naarm and Melbourne community, who I also want to thank for voting me in today to be your representative as a Metro representative. But in particular, I want to acknowledge my Mildura mob community that has been home for me and my family for a long time and that raised me to be who I am today. In particular, to all my family and my community, love you mob, appreciate you always. My very being and this speech is dedicated to you today and because of you. There's a few people I want to shout out. In particular, I want to acknowledge my partner Jade Mercedes, my sister Maya Hodge, who are both here today. I also want to acknowledge my mother Sonia Hodge, who raised me and my sister as a single black mother, who's our rock, our guide and our teacher. And these last three people I want to acknowledge who are in the dreaming, but I know very much stand here with us today. My father, Peter Clarke, a man taken long before his time and whose legacy lives on in all who knew him. He was passionate about his community, passionate about justice, and passionate about education, and that lives on through me. And last but not least, I want to acknowledge my beautiful and caring grandmother, Alice Clarke, and my old uncle, Sid Clarke, two staunch people for whom led a lot of things for our mob and who I wouldn't be here without today, and whose stories, legacies, and teachings I will forever hold and cherish. I've been sitting and dreaming about what may come of this task and what will be involved, and I'm continually reminded that it will be no easy feat, and it's one that comes with great responsibility, but one I don't take lightly. For anyone that knows me, knows I'm also pretty cheesy, and I often would quote the old Spider-Man quote, "With great power comes great responsibility." But for me, that is literally where we are at today in this journey towards treaty and treaties. We hold and must stand in that power. That is our responsibility to our people and our communities. Responsibility, respect, courage and integrity are critical as we move forward. In what this can and will treaty look like is a conversation that we must have as a chamber, but is one that we must continue to have with our community and one that we will fight for our community as your assembly. What you'll get from me, you'll get a passionate advocate who wears his heart on his sleeve and as stated is a product of being raised by my community. I'll always be open for a yarn and keen to discuss how we move forward together on this journey. It is paramount that we move forward in this treaty journey together, that we remain open, considerate, thoughtful, be tenacious and courageous in our very beings and all that we do. To all my mob here today, big love to you all, and as we move forward on this journey, and to all our mob out there today, big love to you all, and each journey starts with one step in the right direction. And as we know, our elders and ancestors have always fought that way, and now it's our turn to do the same. Thank you.